Good morning, Scotland. Good morning, social media land. I hope you are well. It is Monday, the 26th of May, 2025. Most folk don't expect much from politics anymore. Not after years of broken promises, headlines full of chaos, and politicians more interested in point scoring than helping people. We've watched governments slash support, privatise the basics, and leave families to fend for themselves. So it's no wonder that people feel that hope is a mug's game. But what if that wasn't the whole story? What if one government right here in Scotland was doing things differently? Not just talking about fairness and dignity, but delivering it? What if quietly, without the fanfare, it had been building a country that actually looks out for its people? This is part one of the top 100 things the SNP have already delivered for Scotland. Not campaign promises, not policy proposals. These are real practical changes, and they're already changing lives. You might not have heard about all of them. Maybe that's by design. But by the end of this, you will know exactly what's been done and what it looks like when politics works for the people. So let's begin. In Scotland, a child can be born into the world where a baby box is waiting, packed with everything they need for those first vital weeks. This isn't charity, it's a quiet statement that you matter. And when a child reaches nursery age, their parents are entitled to 1,140 hours of free, high-quality childcare. That's worth over £5,000 a year. That's not a luxury. That's the foundation of equality. When they head to school, they'll get free hot lunch every day from primary 1 to primary 5. And if they need help with school clothes, there's support there too. It's called putting children first, and it's working. And when they're ready for university, tuition is free. Because Scotland, education is about your ability to learn, not about your ability to pay. While students in England rack up debts of nearly £30,000, our children walk into adulthood with more freedom and more opportunity. That's why we've got the lowest student debt levels in the UK and why we've invested record levels into education and skills. And it doesn't stop at university, whether it's supporting through educational maintenance allowance or hundreds of thousands of modern apprenticeships. Scotland is backing young people to succeed in every path, not just the academic one. But let's talk health, because when you're unwell in Scotland, there's no checkout till waiting at the pharmacy. Prescriptions are free, and if you're under 26, dental care is also free. That might not make the headlines, but it saves lives and eases pressure in people's everyday lives. And here's something else. If you need care in your older years or through illness, free personal and nursing care is available to all, no matter what your age. That's what it means to live in a country that puts your dignity before profit. Behind the scenes, Scotland's NHS has grown stronger. Staffing is at a record high, over 33,000 more workers since the SNP came to power, including more GPs per person than anywhere else in the UK. Frontline health funding has more than doubled, hitting £19.5 billion. And that's nearly £3,500 for every single person in Scotland. And our A&Es, despite the strain, they remain the best performing in the UK. 9 years and counting. That's not luck, that's investment, planning and choosing to put people first. The SNP didn't stop there. They built a new social security system from scratch. Social Security Scotland, delivering 15 benefits rooted in dignity and respect. Among them, the Scottish Child Payment, a game changer, praised by anti-poverty groups and is now sitting at nearly £27 per child per week. That's more than 5 times the original campaign ask and is lifting thousands of families out of poverty. Carers haven't been forgotten either. The Carers Allowance Supplement gives extra to those who spend their lives looking after others because caring is work and it should be recognised as such. And when it comes to getting around this country, how many governments can say that they've made travel free for almost 2 million people? That's right, under 22s, over 60s, and people with disabilities all ride for free on Scotland's buses. It's a shift in thinking. Mobility shouldn't depend on the money in your pocket. We've seen change in housing too. Over 133,000 affordable homes that have been built under the SNP. Warm, safe places to call home. And this is just the start. A new target is in place to deliver on a further 110,000 by 2032, the majority for social rent. We've also said goodbye to bridge tolls on the Forth and Tay crossing, saving commuters thousands. And speaking of bridges, we built a new one, the Queensferry crossing, a 1.35 billion feet of engineering delivering under budget and built to last. And if you want to know where our railways are headed, here's the answer. Back into public hands. ScotRail was brought into public ownership to serve people, not shareholders, because public transport should serve the people. It's that simple. Even in the smallest details, things are shifting. Free period products, a world first. Free eye tests, the small business bonus wiping away non-domestic rates for over 100,000 premises and saving small firms £3 billion. Scotland's doing things differently and it shows. So the next time someone tells you all governments are the same, that nothing ever really changes, you tell them this. In Scotland, we've already changed lives. We've already built better. And we're just getting started. All the videos this week are taken around about 25 of the top 100 things the SNP have achieved. And we're going to talk about them in a part 1 through part 4 on Thursday as well. I think it's important that we remember what the SNP have done compared to the media manufactured scandals and stupid blue tent extravagance nonsense in the papers. It's important that we remember that they work for Scotland. They don't take their orders from Westminster or from donors down south. You might not like them, but you benefit from them every single day. I'll speak to you tomorrow.
Got the warm meal waiting, the coat on a child in the rain. You forgot the books with no price tag, the care without counting the pain. You talk like nothing's moving, like no one ever tried. But there's a country on its feet while you're stuck in rewind. They were building while you weren't looking, laying stones beneath your shoes, holding up the tired and broken with more than empty news. Call it slow or call it quiet, but the change was always there. While you whispered they've done nothing, they were fighting for what's fair. You forgot the bridge that rose up where the tolls used to be, the bus that carried young dreams with nothing paid, rides free. You forgot the hands that sheltered when the world just let you fall. You forgot the work they did when they could have done nothing at all. They were building while you weren't looking, planting roots so deep, so wide, lifting laws that spoke of justice, not just power dressed in pride. government feel human with one hand on the soul. So before you throw the stone or say they've had their day, ask yourself who else ever stood